Body language is the biggest clue when it comes to figuring out how a guy really feels about you. As humans, our movements and behaviours tell the real story of what's going on inside us. And it's just a matter of paying attention to these external signs that paint a clear picture of a guy's internal state. And once you develop an eye for these telltale clues, you'll quickly figure out the truth no matter what. So if you've struggled to try to decode a man's behaviour, don't fret. We've all been there before. But here's the thing. In many cases, it's pretty clear when a guy is into you. The problem is that we've got this idea of what the signs of attraction are in our mind, and they can be quite different from what they actually are in real life. So we often miss out on these subtle hints because we're not aware of them. So, if you want to know what these signs are and find out for sure if he likes you, we've got you covered. In this video, we'll reveal the top 10 surefire but subtle body language signs that he's into you. Plus, you'll also discover the specific gestures that you should watch out for and the real meaning behind these body language signals. But before we continue, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to this channel to get the best tips and advice on dating and relationships. Plus, stay with us because we'll tell you how you can get a free gift, the top 7 man-melting phrases that make men fall for you. This gift is all yours, completely free of charge, so stay tuned to find out how you can get your hands on it. Alright, now let's jump into the 10 surefire but subtle ways that he's attracted to you, starting with number 10. He opens himself up to you. Now, I don't mean this in an emotional sense. Instead, I'm talking about an open kind of body language that says, I'm 100% interested in you and you have my full attention. So if he's not showing physical signs of being closed off, and instead he's giving off a vibe that he's not afraid to be vulnerable with you, then that's a loud and clear sign that he wants to be more than friends. A study done in 2016 looked at dating behaviour, and researchers found that people are more attracted to someone who displays their body in an open or expansive way. The researchers looked at 144 people who took part in a speed dating event, and they concluded that expansive body language had a strong link to romantic attraction. Like I mentioned before, we take a lot of this stuff for granted, and it ends up flying under the radar. That said, here are some crucial indicators that you should be paying attention to. His legs and arms are uncrossed. If you're sitting together and his legs aren't in a knot and his arms follow suit, then that's a sign that he's comfortable around you. His feet are pointing in your direction. Again, this points to the fact that you've got his attention and he's fully engaged. Think about it. If you're watching a really good movie or watching a band play at a concert, chances are you wouldn't face in the opposite direction. He's exposing himself to you. Hold on, it's not what you think. What I mean here is that you can see his hands instead of him hiding them, or he's unconsciously touching his throat or neck. It means he's comfortable enough to expose parts of his body that are subconsciously perceived as vulnerable. Okay, let's move on to number 9. He gets up close and personal. Another surefire way to tell if a guy's got the hots for you is if he's trying to edge into your personal space. Now, I don't mean this in a pushy or creepy way. Instead, an interested guy will gently and respectfully test those boundaries and check your reaction. Like I said, it's all about subtlety, so it's super important that you don't miss out on these. So the first way a guy will do this is by leaning into you ever so slightly while talking to you. He'll want to know if you're fine with him stepping into your personal bubble, or if he should back off. And the concept of a personal bubble goes way back to a study in the 1960s called proxemics by anthropologist Edward Hall. He says there are 4 basic zones of personal space, and the innermost one is called intimate space, which is 18 inches around you. The next one is personal space, which is about 1.5 to 4 feet around you. And the one after that is social space, which is about 4 to 12 feet away for friends and acquaintances. And beyond that is called public space. And a 2009 study from the California Institute of Technology shows that human concept of personal space is wired into our brain at an early age. So when someone gets into our intimate space, that activates amygdala, which triggers a strong emotional response. So if a guy is trying to move in closer when talking to you, even if you can hear him perfectly fine with your social space, then he's probably crushing on you. And if you're walking together and he's right by your side, rather than being a few steps ahead or behind you, and he's deliberately matching his pace with yours, then that's also another huge indicator that he wants to get into your intimate space. Okay, next up is number 8. He can't keep his eyes off you. So earlier we talked about how an interested guy will be facing in your general direction. And naturally, this same type of guy will also make lots of eye contact with you. Even a guy who's too nervous about making a move can't stop himself from looking at you. Research shows that we look at something we like for 5 times longer than the stuff we don't find exciting or interesting. So if he's stealing glances from you or you find him staring at you, then that's saying something. And as you probably know, men are big on visual input, so they love getting an eyeful of the woman that they're attracted to. And you'll also want to watch out for the size of his pupils. A person's pupils dilate when they're looking at someone they find attractive. A study published in the Science Journal of the American Association for the Advancement of Science looked at the effect of interesting visual stimuli on people. And if someone finds a certain type of stimulus interesting, or emotionally toned as the study called it, then the person's pupils will naturally expand. Again, this is basic human nature at work here, and biology doesn't lie. So keep your eyes peeled for this telltale sign. Okay, next up is number 7. He gets physical. Aside from eye contact, physical contact is another big sign that he likes you. This goes back to him trying to test the waters and see where he stands with you. If he's finding different excuses to touch you in a non-creepy way, whether it's accidentally grazing against your arm or elbow, play punching you on the shoulder, lightly tapping your hand while he's making an important point during a conversation, or any other opportunity to make skin-on-skin contact, there are all ways for him to take things to the next level subtly. It's almost like he can't help himself, and you're pulling him in like a magnet. He wants to be near you, so the urge to physically touch you is strong. Next up on our list is number 6. He straightens himself out. Does your guy suddenly adjust his tie, smooth out his shirt, or run his fingers through his hair when you're around? Does he give off the impression that he's trying to look sharp when he knows you're nearby? That simply means he wants to look his best in front of you. Of course, personality matters and chemistry is crucial, but if a guy's into you, he'll want to get his foot in the door by making a good impression on you, visually speaking. In a 2014 study, researchers found that self-grooming is one way people influence their body image. So, humans subconsciously engage in a lot of behaviour to improve their self-image and feel better about themselves. And that includes good grooming and wearing well-fitting clothes. So if a guy is trying to look good around you, it's definitely a good thing because the way he looks to you matters to him. And when it comes to dating and attraction, looks do matter, but not in a shallow, vain kind of way. This is about him caring about you to make the effort to look nice because he knows you're worth it. Before we continue, we want to give you a free gift, the top 7 man-melting phrases that make men fall for you. This amazing report is a must-have, and it's all yours completely free of charge. Simply click on the link below in the description to claim your free gift. Alright, let's get into number 5. He plays the copycat game. If you've been around someone long enough, like a close friend, you'll notice that you tend to copy what they do. Whether it's matching the tone of their voice, or crossing your arms when they cross theirs, leaning forward when they do, or bursting into laughter when they start laughing. This also happens to a guy when they're attracted to you, but to a higher degree. He'll basically act like a mirror and do everything that you do. Plus, he'll copy your favourite expressions and start to like the same things you do. So that's another sign that you shouldn't ignore. There's a good reason behind this, and it's because we're more likely to be attracted to someone who resembles us in some way, or someone we share something in common with. And according to an article from the Wall Street Journal in 2016, mirroring body gestures can act as a tool to bond with another person and gain their trust. Again, this isn't something that he'll be aware of. It's another subconscious behaviour that automatically kicks in when he's into you. And on a more important note, this also means that he's enamoured by you, that you're influencing him on such a deep level. Now on to number 4. He flashes his pearly whites. If your guy is smiling at you like he just won the lottery, chances are that's exactly how he feels when he's around you. This isn't the polite or professional smile that you use with co-workers or people you don't know that well. A full-on toothy grin means he's flooded with feel-good brain chemicals like oxytocin, which is the hormone associated with romantic love, and this plays a huge role in strengthening human connections. So, a genuine, honest-to-goodness smile is an earnest sign of attraction. And you'll know it's real if his eyes and cheeks are all crinkled too. Now, let's get into number 3, his eyebrows raised. This one can be a little tricky to spot, only because it only lasts for a fraction of a second. But if your guy's eyebrows do go up when he sees you, that's definitely a sign of attraction. Humans are wired to do this when they first see someone they're romantically interested in. And we do it to make our eyes look bigger, shinier, and more enticing to the object of our affection. And raised eyebrows also tell you that he likes what he sees and he wants to take you in visually as much as he can. Okay, we're almost at the end. Do you have any idea of what number 1 on the list could be? Here's a clue. He gets blank. What do you think it could be? All will be revealed shortly. Let's move on to number 2. His voice gives it away. If a normally talkative guy is suddenly struggling to form complete sentences when you're around, and he's giving off an awkward but adorable vibe, that means he's feeling self-conscious and worried about saying the wrong thing around you. And that's a good indication that he regards you differently from other people, and he has serious feelings for you. Another good way to spot if he's into you is if his voice drops to a lower pitch than usual when he's talking to you. A study in 2010, published in the Journal of Nonverbal Behaviour, found that people that are sexually attracted to someone often use a lower voice, compared to other people that they weren't attracted to. In fact, researchers stated that paying attention to a lower pitch can help you identify a potential partner and find out if they're interested in you romantically. That said, keep your ears peeled when he's talking to you. If he's hitting a lower register compared to the way he usually speaks with other people, then there's something that you should make note of. We've made it to number 1 on the list of the 10 surefire but subtle ways that he's attracted to you, body language signals. Are you ready to find out what number 1 is? Let's continue to find out. Number 1, he gets fidgety. As you've learned in the video so far, our bodies have all sorts of ways to communicate different emotional states, and that includes feeling nervous. So, be on the lookout for any signs that give this away, like when he can't seem to stand still when he's talking to you, he's tapping his foot, he's playing with his fingers, or when he's playing with his watch, pen, or any other object within reach. All of these signals point to the fact that his body is subconsciously trying to process that nervous energy without him realizing it. And there you have it, the 10 subtle signs he's attracted to you, body language signals. Which of these signs was your favourite? And have you personally experienced any of these with a guy? Or did you notice any other signs of attraction that weren't mentioned on this list? Let us know your thoughts and share your stories in the comments below. Don't forget, you can claim your free gift, the top 7 man-melting phrases that make men fall for you, by clicking the link in the description below. Plus, we would love for you to click the like button and subscribe to our channel for the best dating and relationship tips and tricks. Thanks for watching and see you next time.